Hello, I'm Yuta. The title of my presentation is The Melting Resistant Ice Cream. This is my outline. Certainly, the ice cream eaten in summer is delicious. But there is a problem with ice cream eaten in summer. That is, the ice cream melts. So we want to know which ice cream does not melt easily. However, Dr. Edward Breezy's previous research did not say which ice cream melts fastest when the temperature is constant. Therefore, the purpose of my presentation is to experiment which ice cream starts to melt the fastest at high temperature and to propose ice cream that is difficult to melt. This study also helps ice cream eaters in the summer choose ice cream that does not melt and does not get their hand dirty. Next, I'd like to explain the materials used in the experiment. First, the definition of ice cream this time is that frozen solution with a wooden stick in the center, regardless of the milk solid or milk fat contents. The ice creams which were used in this experiment were palm, dolphin fruit, azuki bar, pari pari bar, gatsunto mikan, gari-gari-kun large size, gari-gari-kun small size, vanilla bar, and ice manju. Table 1 shows the name, classification, capacity, shape, milk fat content, milk solid content, and the sugar mass of each ice cream. Next, I'm going to talk about how to do the experiment. The purpose of this experiment is to find out when, under conditions of constant temperature, ice cream begins to melt. The definition of melt time in this experiment is when the first drop of solution falls to the ground when ice cream goes from solid to liquid. In the experiment, I first weighted ice cream using a home scale. Then, as shown in figure 1, the ice cream was standing and placed in the freezer. Next, I set the temperature of the experimental room to a constant temperature of 28.5 degrees in the first experiment and 28.0 degrees in the second experiment. Next, I took the ice cream out of the freezer and put it in a place where direct sunlight did not fall. And I measured the time from the time I put the ice cream to the time it melted. Finally, I weighted the mass of the wooden sticks and calculated only the mass of the ice cream. Next, I will explain the result of experiment. The aim of this experiment is to investigate the relationship between the time when ice cream melts and the composition and properties of ice cream. The result of the first experiment are shown in table 2. The results of the second experiment are shown in table 3. The average of the data obtained from these two experiments is shown in table 4. From table 1 and table 4, the relationship between sum of milk solid and milk fat content and the melting time is shown in figure 2. From figure 2, an approximate straight line with a correlation coefficient of minus 0.8330 was obtained for ice cream other than palms. Next, the relationship between density and melting time is shown in figure 3. From figure 3, no correlation was found. between density and melting time. Next, I'd like to talk about discussion. There are 2 points that can be considered from this experiment. First, there is a relationship, the sum of milk fat and milk solid content of ice cream and the melting time. From figure 2, it can be said that there is a strongly negative correlation between the sum of milk fat and the milk solid content and the melt time. In other words, the more milk solid and milk fat in the ice cream, the easier it is to melt. The reason for such a result is the physical properties of milk fat. According to Toshihiro, milk fat has a low melting point. From this, it can be said that milk fat begins to melt at a lower temperature than ice. Therefore, it is considered that the higher the milk fat content, the shorter the time until the start to melting. Finally, from figure 3, there was no correlation between volume and density and melting time. It can be said that the reason for this is the heterogeneity of ice solution. Ice cream is a mixture of 3 parts: ice, unfrozen sugar water, and air. Therefore, it is considered that the ice cream began to melt from the parts that melt easily. This is supported by the fact that azuki has the longest time to begin to melt among the popsicles. Azuki is a solution that freezes uniformly by a unique manufacturing method. Therefore, unlike other ice cream, it is thought that there were no parts that melted easily. Finally, I'd like to talk about conclusion. From the experiment, the ice cream that should be chosen in the summer is the ice cream that does not contain milk fat or milk solid content and has a high uniform composition. The experiment did not allow to examine the relationship between amount of sugar and the melt time, or the relationship between the shape of ice cream and the melt time. So in the future, I would like to clearly this point as well. That's all. Thank you for listening.